We're here doing a voice mailbag show, and we're doing this every single week. And how it works, if you want to be included, I'll explain in a minute, but I'm answering voicemail bag questions about Amari Cooper, about Justin Fields, about Breece Hall. We're doing it right now. The Fantasy Football Show Week 2 voicemail bag show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
Tell your grandma, tell everybody. Your boy Smitty's here to do all the voicemails from this week's show. So just so people understand how to access this, on my Instagram, The Fantasy Football Show, you click on the subscribe button, and for $4.99 a month, that's the price of half a cup of coffee now. That's the price of a half a tank of gas. And your boy Smitty is going to be here for you. And the way it works is I open up, as soon as the Monday night game kicks off, I'll open up a private 24-hour expiring chat group. And then you get an additional never expiring text chat group where you guys can all mingle together and get advice from each other, because it's a tight, close group, a close knit group of people that are paying $4.99. And while $4.99 is not a ton of money, it makes you serious. Like, you're paying that per month, you're going to take it seriously. So everybody in this chat group is going to help each other out. So you get that extra chat group, right? But that 24-hour window of time, this new voicemail only group opens up, and everybody just holds down the button and leaves voicemail after voicemail, and it stays open for 24 hours. Then it closes. So there's one window each during the Monday night game through 24 hours to drop your voicemail for me to be on this show. And here is voicemail number 1 from Cozy Boy.
Hey, Schmitty, would you do Amari Cooper for Joe Mixon? My running backs are Kenneth Walker, David Montgomery, James Cook. And that's it. And I got wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, and Amari Cooper and Michael Pittman.
You know, I hate to
team full PPR.
I hate to interrupt you and just not even listen to the team, but no, I'm not trading Amari Cooper for Mixon. You're almost forcing a running back, and you're almost trying to just get anybody. Now, I get here's the thing. Amari Cooper, I don't know what Amari Cooper is going to get you in trade value. I don't know what Joe Mixon is going to get you in trade value. When I think about this from the perspective of I want out of both those guys, which one gets me more? Maybe Joe Mixon does get you more in trade. I'd have to say, test the trade waters out on Cooper. If you can't get anything else for Cooper at all right now, maybe you do trade for Joe Mixon, then flip Joe Mixon. The problem is I don't want either one of them. I just want to flip them. And so maybe Mixon gets you into a player that is slightly more undervalued. Like, would I trade Amari Cooper for Dameon Pierce and something? Yes, I would. Would I trade Amari Cooper and a piece to go get a Jahmyr Gibbs up above? Yes, I would. Would I? Of course I would. Would I trade Amari Cooper and honestly straight up for Deebo Samuel? Yes, I would. And I know you might be wanting an RB in a sense, but I don't know that I'm just going to sit here and go after Mixon if I can't flip Mixon. And I don't know that Mixon has much trade value right now. I think he needs to go out and prove himself next week. And I honestly didn't want to draft Mixon. I didn't want to draft either one of these guys. He probably has a better shot at rekindling some of his value before, I don't know, I just don't trust him before he gets hurt, before he doesn't have the season we think he could have. So, like, if you're waiting for this to play out for a week, I probably would maybe roll with Amari Cooper. If you're going to try and sell high and you can get a Dameon Pierce right now who's way down the ADP ranks comparatively where Cooper was drafted, you could probably get Pierce and something. Pierce and a Dotson, Pierce and a Pickens. Go to the Dameon Pierce owner, see what other additional wide receiver he has. Maybe you could scoop up a Pickens or a Dotson who didn't play well, and they're just thrown in like window dressing. Mixon's just not somebody I think is going to either stay healthy or impress. He had major drop off last year, and on top of that, they asked him to take a pay cut. You don't ask a guy to take a pay cut that's looking the same, pulling his weight, and he's ready to deliver like normal. So I'm definitely getting rid of Mixon if I get him. It's a tough question. I mean, my initial reaction was like, oh yeah, don't go get Mixon, but maybe Mixon gets you more in a trade. Very good question. Deckard.
All right, Smitty. So week 2, PPR. I've got Fields and Love in one league and Fields and Law Dog in the other. Right now I'm starting Fields over Love and then Law Dog over Fields. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting Fields for Love even as much as I love Jordan Love. Love is a gateway to trades. Love is a gateway to potentially surviving a Fields injury or unraveling, which I don't think will happen. As far as Fields and Law Dog, I don't mind splitting this one. I don't think that's bad. I love Fields, and Fields is starting in one of those leagues. And part of me is like, you're going to be sorry by putting him on the bench. But then again, T. Law, you'll be sorry putting him on the bench too. You've got to make a trade in this league. And you got to hope that both of them go nuts. And the benefit of that happening is you'll be able to trade one of them away. And there are QB needy teams in almost any league I look at right now, with Aaron Rodgers going down, with all the quarterbacks that did poorly, and I'm seeing people panic Peters everywhere. I mean, you could explore trading Law Dog high right now, walking into week number 2. And then you just bank on Fields in both leagues, and I have no problem with that. But I love the Law Dog. If you didn't get a high-end, like third-round type equivalent player back, or even higher than that, for Law Dog from a QB needy team, then I might not even flirt with the idea. I might just throw them out there, let them both flourish for a little while, then trade one of them away in week 3, 4, 5. I highly doubt that these guys lose value. Well, Fields will only go up from here. This is like the bottom right now. T-Law will probably only go up. I don't think he can lose value. So this is a great opportunity for you. One you can be patient on and not rush.
All right, for my flex spot in a PPR league, should I go Flowers, McLaurin, Javante, or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore, okay. This is a tough one. I think Flowers is such a crafty play. Flowers is probably your safe play. Am I sitting DJ Moore? Probably not. And I know everybody's ready to write him off. Everybody's ready to write off Fields. I'm not ready to write off Fields. I'm not ready to write off DJ Moore. I think the rapport is going to be unreal this year. I think DJ Moore has at least a super high-end wide receiver 2 season, and he has maybe a low-end wide receiver 1 season, meaning he could be wide receiver 12. Just knocked everything over on my desk. He could be wide receiver number 12. I probably start DJ Moore, but I would have no problem if he started Flowers. I would have no problem. And I think you have yourself a nice little trade piece in Flowers if you can't find a way to put him in your lineup and DJ Moore does regain confidence. You're gonna have a good problem to have, either in terms of depth or whatever. But I'd say if you need safety, Flowers is an entertaining, interesting option. But if you need a big, huge game and you want to just ride with your studs that you believed in, and DJ Moore was like a 5th rounder, right? So, I mean, it's reactive to take him out of your lineup, I think, heading into this week. Tyler.
Yo, Smitty, it's Ty Flo. Question for you, dude. I got Okonkwo and Kincaid. Now, Okonkwo dropped me the goose egg last week, and I know Kincaid's going to be a slow start. I wasn't trying to pick up a third tight end off waivers. What would you do? Who would you start?
I mean, I'm gonna roll with Kincaid. He in a bad night, a bad situation, a bad Josh Allen performance, he did pretty well. And I think they're going to potentially try and spread the ball around, open things up. Josh Allen's forcing the football. And so instead of forcing the football like he was all night long, they're going to be like, how can we spread it around? How about this guy? How about this guy who did pretty well for his first debut rookie week 1 performance? And he kind of had a similar outing as Laporta, who after Laporta's, pretty decent game, I think it was like 5 for 39. I think 5 catches for like 40 yards, something like that. Everyone's like, this guy's going to be a problem. This guy's amazing. And his game was good, but he didn't like blow up, but everybody still said, this is my guy. This is my tight end. He had a pretty similar outing. Like, he was targeted. He caught some decent passes. He's on his way. So I have no problem putting Kincaid in for week 2 versus going out and grabbing a third tight end. And Okonkwo, I'm not even like sold on holding him. I do feel like he's got upside, but his quarterback situation is garbage. But I have no problem starting Kincaid. It's a little bit of a dice roll, but it's a fun one.
Yo, Smitty's Tyflo. One more question. I dropped Tony for Roshan last night. Looking for 2 flex plays from either Roshan, Brees Hall, Pacheco, McKinnon, Tank Dell, Drake London to drop me the goose egg, and Christian Watson if he comes back. Which 2 are you starting, man?
Which 2? What was? Let me play that back one more time.
Yo, Smitty's Tyflo. One more question. I dropped Tony for Roshan last night. Looking for 2 flex plays from either Roshan, Brees Hall, Pacheco, McKinnon, Tank Dell, Drake London to drop me the goose egg, and Christian Watson if he comes back. Which 2 are you starting, man?
Man, if Christian Watson's back, you got to play him with Brees Hall. I know Brees Hall's got the tough matchup, but you can't sit Brees Hall. You can't sit Brees Hall. And he said Pacheco, right? So Pacheco.
Yo, Smitty's Tyflo. One more question. I dropped Tony for Roshan last night. Looking for 2 flex plays from either Roshan, Brees Hall, Pacheco, McKinnon, Tank
Yeah,
Dell, Drake London to drop me.
Pacheco's a good play. Pacheco's a good play. Sorry, I listen to everything on 2-speed these days, and my mind can handle it. I because you hear it all the time, you get used to it. I would probably say Pacheco, and Brees Hall are your potentially safe plays. London, I don't feel awful starting. If that's if Christian Watson's out. If Christian Watson's playing, you play Christian Watson and Hall. If Christian Watson's out, it's between you put Hall in. You just got to. You put Hall in, Pacheco, and I mean, I'd probably say London is concerning, and his offense is going to run. They're just going to run. They're going to run the ball a ton, and I'm not like out on London. I'm not out on London, but would I rather play Pacheco? Do I think Casey's going to run the ball? I do. So I'm going to roll the dice on Pacheco if Watson's out. But I'm starting Brees Hall, bro. I just can't sit him. I just can't.
Would you trade Amari Cooper
Dominique.
for Kenneth Walker? My wide receivers are DK and
Amari Cooper. I don't need to know your wide receivers. Amari Cooper for Kenneth Walker. Is that what he said? Would I trade Amari Cooper for Kenneth Walker? You bet your bottom dollar. That's Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Of course I do. Of course I do. That is an easy trade. Walker was utilized so much in this game. When you look at the numbers, his percentage of usage, the amount of plays this guy played on his there were some metrics that I wish I had in front of me that I just read a few minutes ago, actually, that talk about how underwhelming he was in a sense, but absolutely a part of his team's offensive snaps, and percentage of snap share was through the roof. He was one of the most used players in week number 1. Like, there was no other player getting usage. It was him. His snap share was through the roof. I would venture to say it was in the top 5 of all the players in week number 1. He was just utilized. It just wasn't a super ultra effective game, but he was on the field. His snap share through the roof. That was so nice to see. It puts the groin injury to bed. It puts the timeshare to bed. He was effective. If you kind of watch the game and you isolate certain plays out of the evaluation process, that it's hard to play that game, right? Oh, if you take this play away, add this play, that's a dumb way to evaluate something in a sense. But at the same time with Walker, people last year talked about how inefficient he was when, if you watched the game like in week 1 and he got the football and there were 3 defenders. Now this is a problem because there's bad blocking and there's bad play call selection sometimes for him. But he gets the football, there's 3 defenders right there already, sometimes behind the line of scrimmage, and he can get out of it sometimes. He'll slip out, go bounce to the outside, he'll break off a 4 to 10 yard run, and you say to yourself, wow, how did he get out of that? but there's so many times he doesn't get out of it, and it's not his fault. He's literally getting the football, and there's 3-4 defenders, and they corral him. He almost slips away. He gets like an extra yard, and then falls down, and everyone's like, oh, look at the box score. Box score Bobby is like, oh, the efficiency was awful. But if you watch it, you understand. Just like if you didn't watch the game, you'd think he did okay. He did okay. But if you look at the details, he was one of the most used running backs, if not, I want to say it was like 1, 2, or 3 overall. Snap share, usage, it just wasn't, he didn't get the football every time he was on the field, but he was on the field constantly. This guy was all over the place in week 1, 100%, buy low across the board in every league, and almost take a lap worthy. Dominic.
Or do I just trade James Cook for JT? I'm 1-0.
I do that too.
My team's good enough. And then it'll be a monster once JT returns.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too, bro. I do both of them. I trade James Cook for JT, and I trade Amari Cooper for Walker. Then the bank opens at 9. You head to the bank, you go get your advance.
Or do I package James Cook and Amari for some better wide receiver? Maybe Adams, but he's also dealing with that injury now.
Yeah, why would you trade for Adams now? Yeah, don't trade for Adams now, Dominic. But would I do that if that falls through? Sure, but not for Adams. For a different player. For Devontae Smith, maybe. For Jalen Waddle, maybe. Both struggled. Those would be good options. But go after these 2 trades. I love the idea. Kamara as well. Trading instead of for JT, Kamara. But I love the Amari Cooper for Walker trade.
Or I could trade Anthony Richardson and James Cook and maybe get like a Hurts.
I do that too. You can't get JT.
I like Richardson.
I mean, these are all great ideas, bro. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I already know where to go with it. If you can't get JT for Cook, go do that. Go get Hurts. Go get Fields. Go get Joe Burrow. Go get Josh Allen, whose owners want to write him off right now like he's garbage. This one's from Lewis.
This might not have any fantasy impact, but should I trade Josh Kelly for Jameson Williams and just put him on the IR? Some guy needs him because he has Eckler, and he would give me my fab back, so probably just for stashing Jameson.
Oh, I don't, that doesn't really do anything for me. Jameson Williams, you got to hold him. Yeah, you could hold him on IR. I get it, but I just think that's a weird move. Why do that? Yeah, I'm not into that move. JR.
Smitty, in my 8-man PPR league, Algiers out on waivers. I got McKinnon on the bench. Thinking I'm dropping McKinnon and picking up Algier. What do you think?
So while I don't want you to do this in a sense, okay, because I don't want McKinnon dropped, I think McKinnon can be really good. I don't know all of the ins and outs of your league and your lineup and the depth and all that. So sometimes you got to make a move like this. Sometimes you got to drop a good guy to pick up a guy. This guy, I've seen people move mountains. I've seen people go get the world for Tyler Algier. I've seen people trade Algier for Garrett Wilson. And not one person, like multiple people doing deals like this. Algier for Debo. Algier for Dameon Pierce. Algier for, I'm telling you, I always tell people, and I don't say this to be like cocky or something, that I believe the best pulse on the trade market than anybody, because I have a text line where I get massive amounts of questions, and the questions are so telling when they're in volume and massive amounts of the same guy being talked about. And Garrett Wilson's like being given away, and I'm like, what are you doing? No, stand down. Hey, Smitty, should I trade Garrett Wilson for Puka? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And you may say, Smitty, not my league. Stop doing that. Stop saying that not in my league, wish I was in a league. You all know, every one of you watching right now, there has been a trade. There will be a trade this year. There's been a trade last year. There was 2 or 3 of them where everybody threw their arms up and said that was a horrible trade. Don't act like your league's perfect. Don't act like there aren't people that are vulnerable to do stupid moves in your league. Every league has this, okay? It just, you want it to happen to you. You want that specific scenario to happen to you. But I mean, Algier can get you the world, bro. So you got to go make this move. And after you make the trade, maybe you pick McKinnon right back up. But I would take Algier to move Algier, to be completely honest with you. Take Algier to move Algier. Appreciate you. That was that Lewis?
This might not have any fantasy impact.
Yeah, that was Deckard, I think.
Smitty, am I
8 man. Yeah, that was Deckard. Okay, Big Howard.
Hey, Smitty, I got Pollard, Walker, and Montgomery as my 3 running backs, and I got Flowers. Should I bench one of my running backs and put Flowers in? Thanks.
Okay, who is his? Let's see, one more time.
Running backs, and I got and Montgomery as my 3. I got Pollard, Walker, and Montgomery as my 3 running backs.
Pollard, Walker, Montgomery. I don't think I sit those guys for Flowers, but I love Flowers. I do love Flowers. It's a tough dilemma to be in. I'm playing Monty over him, but only for a little while. And if this guy starts becoming what I think he could become, you're gonna have to make a trade. You're gonna have people knocking down your door for Flowers. If Flowers goes out and has 110 yards and a touchdown in week number 2, you will have people coming and offering you Debo's and up for Flowers because people will buy in. People are trying to buy in right now, but they're not fully buying in. But I would start Monty. He's guaranteed a lot of touches. Lamar's a concern, but I do think he's going to get fed. So, and this is Ernesto, the last question.
Hey, Smitty, just trying to see if you could help me out with my flex spot here. Kenneth Gainwell is out for this week, so I need to replace him. I was thinking of putting Tyler Algier. I also have Bijan. Do you think running both of them is a bad idea? I was thinking of putting Bijan, of course, my RB1, and Tyler Algier in the flex. I think hopefully he could save me with a touchdown or something. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I need to know more details to fully tell you. Like if you said I've got Flowers, I've got so-and-so, and I don't think you gave me many options, right?
Hey, Smitty, just trying to see if you can help me out with my flex spot here. Kenneth Gainwell is out for this week, so I get to replace him. I was thinking of putting Tyler Algier. I also have Bijan. Do you think running that?
So you didn't give me any other options, so I don't really know how to tell you yes or no on that. But I will say in general, Ernesto, I don't have a problem with that because there are people, and I think they're overpaying for Algier, but there are people paying good money, hard-earned money, Debo Samuel, Garrett Wilson for this guy. So clearly they believe, and I believe rightly so, that he's going to get work no matter what happens with Bijan. So I don't have a problem with that at all. And they run the ball so many freaking times. 569 attempts last year, more than any team in the National Football League. The number 1 running team in the league. There's more than enough carries to go around to give him at least 12 to 14 carries, even if Bijan's going nuts. So yeah, it's a fantastic play. And they don't just switch over and run and throw. So you're never going to have like a down game in terms of volume for Algier as long as he's healthy and Bijan's healthy. So I have no problem with that. But if you had a Flowers, I might lean Flowers potentially. If you had a Debo, of course I'd go Debo. If you had a Christian Watson healthy, I would, but I don't know that he's going to be healthy. If you had a Swift, then I'd probably go Algier until Swift proves himself. Or unless we hear Swift is starting and no one else is getting the football, like something crazy. Other than that, Swift goes on the bench, Algier goes in. Examples like that. Hope that helps. Guys, if you want to be a part of this weekly show, that I'm going to take my messages from my people and play them in this show right here and just go through them. This expires in 1 hour. This chat expires in 1 hour. So I started it around the Monday Night Football game time frame, and it'll last for a little later than that. It lasts for 24 straight hours, and then it closes and leaves. And then you can't leave voicemails until the next Monday Night Football game for a 24-hour period. And then I play these, record, and post the video. So it's an exclusive mailbag group. They're all $4.99 a month subscribers. Just hit that subscribe button on my Instagram. And then you also, so that expiring voicemail chat, you have a window of time to leave it for the voicemail show. But you also all week long get that exclusive group where you guys get this close group of people get to, talk all the time, non-expiring, always open Instagram chat for the boys. So it's like a club, if you will. Become a part of the club. Instagram $4.99. Get out of here. Appreciate you all. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and live whenever news breaks.